Happy New Year, everybody. It is not the sudden rupture that will destroy us. It is carrying on as we are. So here we are, 12 New Year's resolutions for 2022 to help you prolong our life support system on planet Earth. And that might sound alarmist, but even more alarmist is that this list would have been the same last year, and it will be the same next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, right up until the point when in around 6 to 7 years' time, by current estimates, that it becomes too late to do these things because runaway climate breakdown will have already become irreversible. But anyway, let's not talk glumly about who killed who, the end of civilization as we know it, the end of days. I'll actually be covering that next week when I'll be talking about climate breakdown deniers. But this week, let's strike a more cheerful note as I list 12 things you can still do to slow or even reverse our journey into the abyss. I'm actually recording this video in January 2022, but it doesn't matter when you watch it. You could actually be watching this in December 2022, but even if you're watching this in 2023, these are a list of 12 things just because it's a great number and because you can actually attempt to do just one a month in bite-sized chunks if you're watching this in January, or you can miss out as many as you want. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's start. So, first off, move towards a more plant-based diet. For most of us, this is the simplest fix we can do, unless of course you're already a vegan, in which case I salute you. But if you are a vegan or you fly a lot, then the next thing to do is to fly less. Seriously, if you are a frequent flyer, like more than one long-haul flight a year, or several domestic or short-haul flights a year, your cutting down on eating meat will be a drop in the ocean, a spit in the sea, a gnat's biting on elephant's arse, a penny in Jeff Bezos's pocket compared to the savings you will make by cutting down on your flying. And then, if you drive a lot, getting an electric car and driving less. It's not enough simply to switch to an electric car. I get into this in an earlier video, which you can see in the description below and here. You also need to drive less, walk more, cycle more, and use public transport. And if you live in a cold climate, although it's getting warmer, insulate your home and put in a heat pump. Again, I put together an entire video on this, and if you can move beyond the bollocks and emotive subject of the Insulate Britain movement, these two things combined are probably collectively the best things you can do to reduce your carbon footprint. Putting in a heat pump is the best, but it's totally useless unless your house is super insulated. And then get solar panels or a massive windmill. Regrettably for most of us, having a massive windmill in your garden is not an option. But if it is, this is definitely the way to go. The bigger, the better. Think like a pizza. The extra 2 inches is far more than the first 2 inches of a 10-inch pizza. And so it goes. But your own renewable energy source at home is right up there, particularly if you have a heat pump and a well-insulated house. I think I just mentioned that. Number 6, fast fashion. Buy less clothes. The fashion industry is completely out of control and its greatest weapon is being cool. We need to punish fashion with its greatest fear, which is to make it uncool, because it really is fucking uncool. If you're going to wear a pair of jeans with rips in, surely it is cooler that you made the holes yourself instead of giving Gucci £590 for a pair of ripped, eco-washed, organic denim trousers. Fast fashion, let's make it uncool. Number 7, stop wasting food. Food that is produced for human consumption but is wasted either because the carrot is the wrong shape so never gets to market, or the carrot is the right shape but gets thrown out because it looks a bit mouldy and gets thrown away by the household, constitutes around 10% of global carbon emissions. So this is big, very, very big. If you buy it, use it. If you buy some cheese, the least you can do for Daisy the cow's suffering is to eat it all and not throw it away. And stop buying stuff in single-use plastic. Plastic is made from fossil fuels, so in terms of climate breakdown, it is already a shit show. But if you also consider the environmental impact of the forever plastics from single-use plastic bottles, of water, plastic bags, pointless plastic inlays for your chocolates, plastic yogurt pots, plastic trays for your mushrooms, beans, sweet corn, sushi, single-use plastic face masks, and single-use takeaway coffee cups and lids, the picture is a lot worse. And no, recycling is not the answer on its own. I mean, obviously, number 9, recycle everything you can. Recycling is great, but the real answer is not to produce and use the stuff in the first place. But just a note on recycling, recycle correctly. I am now recycling less than I did 2 or 3 years ago for 2 reasons. One is I'm avoiding buying stuff that needs to be recycled. But secondly, I'm no longer indulging in wish recycling. Don't wish recycle. Putting the wrong stuff in your recycling, like greasy pizza boxes, Tetra Packs, plastic bags, takeaway coffee cup lids made of biodegradable material that looks like plastic, or indeed biodegradable bags that look like plastic, single-use face masks or COVID testing kits. You would need to check with your local recycling, but none of those things I've just mentioned can be recycled in my regular plastic, paper and cardboard recycling where I live. And if you do put them in, or if I do put them in, they can cause a lot more problems down the line because they actually spoil the whole batch of recycling. 11, stop buying stuff you don't need. Stop mistaking want for need. Need in itself is a relative term, but when it comes to wanting to replace your perfectly good Mike Tyson sandwich toaster with a nice Gucci sandwich toaster just because Margot and Oliver have got one, this is not need. It is barely even want. It is shameful, shameful greed. And we have all done it on some level and we have to stop. Number 12, buy this book. Buy this book. I covered this in an earlier video, but this is essential reading. How bad are bananas and the carbon footprint of everything? It will make you question everything you thought you knew about green living. Essential reading. If you have found this video useful, disturbing or insightful, you can share it on Facebook, you can share it on Messenger, email, Reddit, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Twitter, or anywhere else. And if you've not already done so, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the little notification button as well so that I can annoy you every week with a bing each time I put out a new video. It is entirely free. I don't want your money, just your eyes, your ears, and your open mind. Let me have your comments, your questions, your feedback. Is there a 13th New Year's resolution, a 14th, a 15th that I should have included? What do you think? And please do give the like button a scratch. Because of the nature of my channel, the YouTube algorithms see me as some sort of subversive. So by liking, subscribing, sharing or commenting, in fact doing all or any of these things really does help me reach a wider audience and helps me get my message out there to more people and hopefully affect positive change. I'll be back next week on climate change deniers and why we should forgive them and how to deal with a few of their common arguments. But if you can't wait for next week and would like to see more now, you could try this one. Or indeed this one. I bet at least one person writes in with the hilarious idea that I should have a New Year's resolution to stop producing videos. I bet.